A lot of these conversations that I had with people, you kind of steal these moments behind the scene at the White House. People were talking about this Ministry of Truth. Mm-hmm. Is that what it's called?
No, it's called the Disinformation something board. What's the phrase?
So while this was going on, Ministry of Truth was trending on Twitter for some reason?
Because everyone compares everything to Harry Potter because it's the only book they ever read.
Well, I understand it. It's the only book I've read. I'm kidding. Big fan of the Harry
Ministry
Potter
of Truth is from 1984 as well.
Okay.
So there was the reference being made is Dolores Umbridge in Harry Potter. And if you look at the goddamn lady...
Yeah, pop her up, Bob.
Who, by the way, this woman has like a long history of just saying fucking crazy shit and being extremely pro-censorship. Like, she thinks that women should be protected from any kind of offense on the internet, right? By censorship, even to the point of, like, criminal charges. If you were to say, hey, fuck you, you fat bitch... She thinks not only should you be censored and banned for that, but also there should be some kind of civil penalty. It's of some sort, maybe even a criminal penalty. Mm-hmm. Like, fuck you,
this
you
is
fat bitch.
This is absolutely the type of face you see, like you're meeting people out at a bar or something, and like some of your friends are going to be there, and then there's some like friends of friends that are going to be there, and you like sit down and like see her, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah. And then one of your friends ends up going home with her, and it turns out to be the worst experience of their life. Like, shit gets wild, and she just keeps texting them over and over and over again. What is her credentials exactly to have this job, Dan?
I don't know. They say that she's extremely credentialed for it, but who could be? Like, what professional position has she had where she's been a monitor of online content, which is the job? Mm-hmm. Fuck, who the
fuck and why? Like who is this and why? And then is this a real job or was this a proposal of a job? Like, oh hey, we might do this?
It's something that the Biden administration can do this. Like, you control the you control the executive budget. So Biden has, unless something specifically says in a bill that's been passed that DHS has to do this, or one of the agencies inside of DHS has to do this thing, then the executive has quite a bit of say in how that money's spent, who's targeted criminally, all kinds of stuff, right?
So it's called the Disinformation Governance Board, which is within the Department of Homeland Security. Her specific qualifications, however you want to, take that. Let's see here. She has served as a disinformation fellow at the Woodrow Wilson Center, supervisor of the Russia and Belarus programs at the National Democratic Institute. She attended Bryn Mawr, double majoring in Russian and poli-sci, and she's authored two. Yeah, she's authored 2 books.
Bryn Mawr is like third wave feminist capital of the United States.
Yeah.
She's written 2 books: How to Lose the Information War and How to Be a Woman Online.
So I guess in theory, she is very qualified to be somebody who's in charge of censoring you on behalf of the government, because that's how she's made her career as of late. And of course, DHS Secretary Mayorkas, who is a fucking absolute cunt, a bald little bitch with no balls. Like, it's just smooth down there, and you can tell. Here's what he said. In an effort to dispel the misinformation about his fucking little project here, he says, it works to ensure that the way in which we address threats, the connectivity between threats and acts of violence are addressed without infringing on free speech, protecting civil rights and civil liberties, and the right of privacy. How?
How? Yeah.
How is any of that true?
Yeah.
Like, there's a Disinformation Governance Board, right? Which sounds dystopian on its own, and you can make excuses for or smooth reality for what the real purpose is going to be, even if you have an intended purpose, unless you bring in a person to run it who has been on the record for a number of years now that we need more censorship on behalf of the government, not less. So you have the organization that would enforce unconstitutional First Amendment violations, and you bring a person who believes in doing that. Now you can't fool me anymore that that's not exactly what you're trying to do.
I'm just putting my finger in your ass to make sure there's no fingers in your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. And then how far will her reach extend, I guess? Does this go into all social media? Or
It won't. It won't. Like, this will get struck down as soon as it goes to any kind of court. Like, this is completely unconstitutional.
Why did they do it in the first place?
Who the fuck knows, man? I mean, I think it's because it's the same thing you saw from from Secretary Yellen. She said, to solve our economic problems, we need to double down on green energy. They've lost their fucking minds. Or it's one of the two things. They've either lost their minds, because that's what somebody of weak character does when their plan fails. They double down on the plan and blame everybody but themselves. That's what a weak person does, right? Mm-hmm. And that's who these people are. They're weak people. Or they're intentionally trying to sabotage our fucking country.